Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we are going to do our second modeling tip. Let's open up a general file and let's click Shift A and let's add a cylinder. So we've got a cylinder right there. We've got about 32 vertices. I think that should be fine. Let's try that. Let's rotate this along the y-axis 90 degrees. Let's tab in. Let's go into X-ray mode, Alt-Z, and let's click number 3 on our number pad. And what we want to do is delete some of these vertices. Let's click number 1. We want to delete these vertices. We also want to delete these vertices. So that's about what we want to delete. Let's click delete vertices. Perfect. So if we press Alt-Z out of X-ray mode, let's see what we can do from here. So let's add a loop cut and let's right click once again. With this loop cut, we can then press Shift B and turn it into 2, essentially. And we can bring it out to the edges around there. That should be good. Then what we can do is take these faces. And let's delete faces. You know what? Let's save our work while we have a chance. So let's press number 2 on our number pad and let's select this vertex right there, the one at the bottom. And let's press 7 on our number pad and then we can press E to extrude. And we want to extrude along the y-axis and then right click. Wonderful. With the vertex at the top is the same thing, extrude, but we're extruding down. So we press Z on our keyboard to extrude down. Once again with control, it's pretty much the same thing. And so let's extrude down and let's drop it around there. You can see this face is probably a little bit too protruded. Click on this edge and let's press G, Y, and we can bring it back just a little bit. Now that we got that face extruded, we can now join it with the face at the top, with the edge loop at the top. Let's click on both of them and press F. Those are joined. Let's click on the ones on the side, on the left-hand side, and we want to join this as well. Press F. And it's the same thing on the right-hand side. Press F once again. Perfect. So then we can add a loop cut in the center once again, press Ctrl B and turn it into 2 and bring it all the way to the edge around there. Then we can add loop cuts to the corners as well. There we go. Then what we want to do is select these faces. We select these faces. You can use Shift and right click to select these faces, rather easy. Then we can insert using I. We can insert. We don't want to insert it too much, but around there is pretty good. So we can add some more loop cuts, right? So Control R to add some more loop cuts, 2 right there. Control R to add more loop cuts right there. And then what we can do is press number 1 on our number pad, and we can join some of these vertices. So with these vertices, we can click on them and press J to join. Same thing with these vertices, J to join. Just want to join these vertices right there. There we go. And it's the same thing on the other side. Just join these vertices. I think that's about it. I think, believe it or not, this is done. So if we now press Control 4, you can see right there, it subdivides everything. And if we press Shade Smooth, that's looking pretty good. So you can imagine how useful this could be in much scenarios. I'm sure there are other ways to create this, recreate this, and probably even do a better job. If you know how to do a better job, please leave it in the comments below. Share it with the community. We all want to get better with Blender. I want to teach the basics. And I also want to learn better ways to accomplish this, because this format perhaps isn't always the best to use, depending on what sort of modeling you're doing. Because the biggest flaw in this perhaps is that we've added a lot of edge loops. And as you know, these are uncontrollable edge loops. So with these edge loops, if we even click on one and press G and X, you see we can move it around to create a slightly different effect of our model. Just as edge loops really work, but you can see how by having edge loops, it can give you an advantage depending on what you're doing, but it's not always the best format to use. So I'm always curious to learn from other people, like what have you done to actually create a better results? I'm always looking to learn. So if you have any suggestions, but see, we can change it around a little bit, this is a rough idea, but it gives you a principle of something that you could work with. What about these edge loops? So what if I then press SX? I can then completely mess it up if I want. You know, it's almost like, anything's really possible. Or I can select some of these faces, just to experiment. It's always good to experiment. What happens if we extrude? What happens if we insert and extrude again and insert and extrude again? I don't know, but simple things like this, you can you can go a long way by just creating some rather ridiculous things. Okay, this is what I was looking for. If you right click, you can extrude individual faces. This is what I was looking at. So if you wanted to do that looks a bit wild. But if you did it the other way, look at the results that you get right there. Almost like this is some sort of cushion or something, like some sort of cushion. You're giving it some really cool details right there. So my goodness. So it's the same thing with these faces on the edges. What details could we do? And this is the thing, I'm just experimenting with Blender, just discovering, what's possible and what's not possible, and what the software might allow you to do, what it probably doesn't want you to do. What if we did the exact same thing once again? Wow, look at that. So you can see, just like purely simple concepts that can become complex. If we select this edge loop, so let's go to number 2 and let's select these vertices. I want to select these vertices. In fact, I want to select them on both sides. At this point, the modeling is pretty much done, but what I'm simply doing is just experimenting to sort of just give you an idea of what might be possible. And again, if I select these ones, let's see what will happen there. Wow, look at that. So details on details on details. So you can just go wild. You can just go crazy if you if you want. But these faces at the back, you could also create a cushion right there if you can extrude it in individually, I suppose. So sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. We've managed to turn our beautiful model into something really, really ugly. That's what I like to do. That's what I like to do. You got to experiment and just learn about the software simply by doing some crazy stuff. Sometimes you don't know what will work until you've given it a try. You've got to give it a go. But hey, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Remember to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment. I'm always looking for those comments. If you need any help whatsoever, let me know. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in our next video. Peace.